back to Opal and Mint. I am Ashley and welcome back to our Flower Every Day series. We're painting a flower every single day in the month of July. Generally, I don't come on and do an intro first. We just dive right into it. I was tired of feeling like a troll and I have a headache hat on constantly. I'm about to put one on again, but I wanted to look like a human for about 5 seconds. So here it is. I'm going to go back to looking absolutely miserable now, but we're going to paint, which is going to make me happy. So today is day 21. We are getting so close to the end of the month. It's insane, but we're painting a magnolia today. And I think we might do a little bit of sketching. Don't worry, it won't be too hard. It'll help guide where we're going to put this paint, especially since we're dealing with a white flower. So let's go ahead, turn this camera around, and we're going to start painting beautiful magnolia. I hope. Let me grab my headache hat real quick. Hold on, put ice on my head. Just in case any of y'all out there also suffer with head problems, these ice headache hats are amazing. Hopefully this will make it to where I can function. My eyesight's been going in and out all morning already. Having trouble seeing and focusing, but let's see what we can do. All right, so this was day 20. Yeah, my right eye doesn't want to work, so my eyesight's kind of not doing great. Look how many flowers we have. Oh, someone asked what this looks like dry, so there's that one dry. I'm curious at the end of the month to see like which ones are our favorites. Okay, we still have some pretty interesting ones to go, but let's look at this magnolia. I'm gonna sketch. Do I want to use my black wing or I might use a mechanical pencil? All right, so for this one, I'm using my Tombow monograph, by the way. For this one, I want to start with sketching this centerpiece. So it's got kind of this flat circle here and then this cone shape. So we're gonna start there. Just going to take this, whoops, there we go. Kind of lightly sketching this cone shape in here. And then it's like has a skirt. And then there's like a piece under here too. Kind of goes out like that. Okay. All right, so there's our cone center, and this has got scribbly, pokey things coming out. Okay. And again, we're just sketching. I'm probably going to also erase as much of this as I can. Zoom in a little bit for this one. All right, so I want to start with that front petal. So it's going to come out of this center. It's here and it goes out pretty wide. Again, I also don't want you to worry too much about making it exactly like the photo. So we've got wide and then we have the fold over here. It has a little dip in the fold over even. Okay. So there is that. There's our first petal. All right, this one right here comes out here. Around, oh, it comes all the way to the center of this. This needs to be a little bit wider. There we go. Make that bigger. Okay. And there's that. And the fold over on that petal. All right, let's take this back petal now. It's got a slight fold over there. All right. Now we need this big petal here. Nice and full petal. Okay, we're getting there. Only a few more. All right, this one kind of comes behind here. Pretty rounded. And then we've got two coming off in this direction. And then we'll do the leaves as well. So this one is going to kind of come up. And here, and then there's one more there. Now, again, these aren't exactly like the photo, okay? And I don't want you to try to make them exactly. Make it your interpretation, make them whatever shape you want. Don't worry too much, okay? All right, I'm gonna have a leaf come in here. I like this placement. Come in, whoops, out and down. This is coming here, and then it has a fold over right there. That, and the center of this one is coming through here. All right, we got a leaf. I feel like it needs to be a little bit fatter. The awesome thing about sketching is you can continuously adjust the shape if you're not happy with it. So, all right, and then we have one coming here. And these leaves are quite glossy. I feel like for composition, I feel like I want one leaf coming off in this direction. So I'm gonna kind of go off script now. I want it kind of coming up. So I'm going to have it coming out here. Maybe a fold over on this leaf as well, because the magnolia leaves fold over quite a bit. And one coming up this way. So the center of that one and the center of that one. Okay, we have a sketch. This is our starting point. Let me grab my kneaded eraser. If you have never used a kneaded eraser, this is my favorite thing to erase with. Also, I like playing with it too. But we're going to lighten this sketch up quite a bit. So I'm just rolling my kneaded eraser. I want to be able to see it a little bit, but since we are painting a white flower, I don't want it to be super visible. Okay, I can still kind of see where that is there. Just tap it. Okay, I'm excited for the magnolia. Are y'all? Oh, I haven't decided what paint to use. Okay, paint. Should I use the Daniel Smiths? I have gray titanium. That might be a fun one to use for the magnolia. All right, where's my favorite brush? Here you are. All right, when I'm painting something like this where I really want it to turn out well, I use my favorite brush. And I hate that this is my favorite brush because 1, it's expensive. 2, it's hard for me to find and link for you. And 3, it's natural hair and not everybody likes that. But it is my favorite brush to paint with. So I'm gonna start with the center. So I'm gonna take a little bit of Mayan yellow and water it down. I'm gonna fill in this cone with Mayan yellow. Use whatever yellow you've got, and then I'm gonna kind of fill in its skirt too. There we go. It looks like there's a little, I'm so sorry. My headache hat is hitting the camera again. It looks like, oh, come on, be still. It looks like there's a tiny hint of pink down in there. So I'm gonna take one little bit of pink right here, using my Quin coral right there. All right, and then I'm gonna take my mixture of Mayan and some kind of brown, I don't remember. And we're gonna put this on the top because this top part is darker. Just tap that in and also make it pokey. So do little jaggedy marks. We're gonna probably go back in and do more on this, but we're gonna let this dry first. Okay, I'm gonna move to the leaves because I need that to be dry for me to do the petals. So let's go on to the leaves. Now these leaves are very yellow green and they're very shiny. So let's see what we can do. I'm gonna take some green and I'm gonna mix in my Mayan yellow into that green. All right, let's start with this one. I think this is the easiest. Get lots of water. This one might not be as quick and simple as most of them. I just really wanted to sketch this one and make it a little bit more detailed. I probably could have done this one in a looser manner, but I just really wanted to, do the magnolia this way. So, okay, get some more pigment. So I'm gonna tap in some more depth towards this side. So we've got some shadow. And then coming down the center. All right, I'm washing my brush off, drying my brush, and then, whoops, sorry. And then I'm going to lift that highlight out of that leaf. like so. Okay, probably gonna have to go with some more depth on that later, but we're gonna start there. Okay, the underside of a magnolia leaf is kind of yellow, so I'm actually gonna take my Mayan yellow. It's like a yellowy brown. We had a magnolia tree in our yard growing up. I actually had one here too until a couple of years ago it died. We had it was either a freeze or I think it was a freeze when it died. Okay, so I'm going by on all the flippy-doops, the undersides of them, and putting in that yellow. It's a little bit brighter than what they actually are, but I think I don't mind it. I think I'm gonna leave it. You could add some brown if you want. Here's like some dustiness to it, but just everywhere there's a flipped over edge, put in that color. That was a petal, you doofus, not a leaf. It's okay. Again, my brain's not working. There, scrub it out. It's all good. All right, sorry. I'm going to pick up the pace here. All right, so I'm going to fill in the leaves and then we'll go on to the petals, which this is touching the petals, so I'm going to have to dry it. And if I was painting this for like a big painting on a wall or something, there are definitely some more steps that I would do. I'm trying to keep this a little bit looser, but I still kind of wanted to go a little crazy with this one. So let me finish these leaves and then we'll move on to the petals. If you want to see me paint a little bit more involved flower, after, this month is over, let me know and I can definitely plan on doing a video like that. Okay. Now I'm going to do the petals. If you don't have a buff titanium or gray titanium or, a light opaque-ish color, what I would do for this one is take a very, very light wash of yellow. But since I have this, I'm going to try it on this and see what it does. I'm still going to very water this down. So it's going to be the same kind of process. And I may actually... Let me clean this pot, actually. I might actually mix a little bit of yellow into it if I need to, but touch of the Mayan. Basically making buff titanium instead of gray titanium. But I'm going to water this down, so I'm putting lots of water on this. And here we go. Okay, so let's look at the shadows on this. We've got a nice harsh shadow here. So I want to start with a very light wash over this entire petal. So I'm taking my color and I'm going to fill in the entire petal. Front, back, all of it. So it has a little bit of color to start with. Okay. Lifting a little bit out of this center bit. I need to let this dry so I can have a harsh line where that shadow is. So moving on to a different petal. We're going to come over here, fill this in. One of the things I think a lot of people struggle with when they're starting in watercolor is learning how to do a very light wash. So not just going in with a ton of paint. And I think a flower like this, I'm going to put a little shadow here. A flower like this is a really great exercise in learning how to do a light wash of color. Okay, I'm gonna hop over here, fill this in with some color. And when you're painting white flowers, you're really kind of concentrating on just shadows. I mean, that's painting anything really, but especially with white flowers. So I'm filling it all in so we have a little base of color, and then we're gonna go and add in our shadows in just a moment. So this back one's gonna be darker than this front one. Okay, I am going to dry this and we will add in our shadows. Oh, there's so many things I could do to these leaves, but I'm going to leave them alone because we don't have time in this video to go too crazy. Okay, I'm going to take my Mayan yellow in a thick amount, tapping off excess water from the side of the brush, and we're going to focus on the center for a second. And I'm just going to do little, okay, I need to add some brown into it, so deepen it up. Putting in a little bit of, I'm not sure what this is. I think it's a hematite, but I don't remember which one. So I'm just putting in little bitty strokes, kind of coming up and out of that center. And then I want to do the same coming from this. I'm going to keep calling it a skirt because it looks like a skirt. There we go. Like so. Tapping my brush off further so it's even less pigment. I want a little bit on this bottom part, but I wanted it lighter. So, all right, there's our center. We're gonna leave that there. All right, so now I'm taking the gray titanium and we are going to do a nice sharp line where the start of this fold over is, like so. Rinsing, oh shoot, I'm sorry, I hit the camera with my headache hat. Rinsing my brush off, so we got to fade out that line. All right, so I'm rinsing off my brush, then tapping it on the cloth. I don't want it to be soaked. And then I'm going to fade the line down this way. Got to do it while it's still wet. It's easier. I had to stop to try to get the camera to stop shaking. So I'm going to take a little bit more. That will help soften out that line. Okay. There we go. So there is our fold over on this one. All right, now I want this petal is going to be separated by the shadow on this petal. So putting that shadow in, this is a little bit of that back petal. And then I'm taking my water on my brush and just softening out the edges of it, like so. Okay, I'm so sorry about the camera, guys. I'm trying to get it still, but my hands are shaking too, so. Going back into my gray titanium. All right, we're gonna have a little shadow on the inside of this one, and then on the back side of this fold over. So I'm taking that and I'm gonna fade it inward this way. You can't, that's not helpful. So I want a little bit of shadow behind this. Guys, I missed a petal completely. There's supposed to be another petal here. Oh my word. There should be a petal right here, and that I put leaves there instead. Well, there's nothing I can do about it now, so oh my word. I wonder how many of you were screaming at me while I was sketching saying you forgot one. Oh dear. Okay, that's fine. Moving along. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna step away from that spot. It's bothering me. Okay, I'm I'm going to shade the back part of this one. So this back petal, put it in our shadow, fading it out. I can't believe I completely skipped a whole petal. That's insane. I mean, I can believe it just because my brain is messed up, but. I'm not doing so good with this one. I was excited for this one and now I'm struggling. I think I'm trying too hard to make this not loose. Like I need to keep it loose. All right, so I'm just gonna try to wrap this up, finish some shadows and wrap this up. I'm finding it to be a lot easier to wet the surface before putting in that line because this line isn't blending out super well. So I'll do that with this back petal. I'm gonna wet it first and then tap in some color. That way it kind of fades out a lot easier. That's a little bit better. All right, so the fold over on this, I'm gonna put a little shadow underneath it. Soften that out. Another part of my problem is I'm going straight from the pan to the paper. I need to dilute the paint first. Okay, where can I help fix some of this? That I'm just gonna go rogue and start putting in where I feel like it and not even looking at the picture. Okay, that's better. There. That's better there. Okay. Put in a little shadow because it's kind of curved here. Lift a little bit. Okay. Okay. I don't love it. I don't absolutely hate it either. I think it's a start for doing a magnolia. I feel like I want to put in a little bit of yellow on the petals. I think they're a little bit too, I don't know. I'm going to take a very, very light wash of this yellow and just put in a tiny bit of life in them. Yeah, I felt like it needed that. It helps bring it to life. Okay. And then I'm also going to, whoa, that was a bunch. Put in a little bit of a yellow wash on the edges of these leaves. Yeah. It's amazing what one little step does. And as you paint more and learn to do different things to, like additional, I'm sorry, my brain's not working. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, but just additional details that help bring things to life. I don't want to go for realism here. I don't want to go for super detailed, but there are some steps that just help bring things to life. And I'm sorry, the camera's been shaking this whole time. I am done. I'm done painting. That is it for today. I hope this one was not frustrating for y'all. I actually like it. I love magnolias, and this one was actually fun, even though I left a petal out. So thank you so much for watching. This one was a lot longer. I'm so sorry. I'm probably going to try to cut some of it out, but yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us out so much. If you haven't already and you want to see our future videos, hit the subscribe button down below. But what I wanted to say after that was my goal is to get us to 14,000 this month. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider. We would love to have you part of the channel. But okay, that's it for today. See you again tomorrow. Bye. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stay, stay, stay.